welcome to MimiQA episode 6. Yeah, welcome everyone. that is pretty much how the week has absolutely gone this week. Towards the back of the week, I've absolutely been ill. I will absolutely say now, I apologize for my voice. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. You're having to listen to my voice this week, and it is absolutely awful. So, episode 6 is that one to miss? Probably. Absolutely, probably. Now, welcome. So, we will be this week talking about all of the mega polls this week. I mean, they're quite literally mega polls. Talking about the dark, how it is still dark this time of the morning. I have literally just been blinded by a cyclist. How bright does a cyclist's light have to be? Clearly, as bright as what that was. And the upcoming Phantasmal. I can't speak. I should just give up this week, right? But welcome, episode 6. Let's get to it. As ever, there will be some beautiful people in TikTok that will be joining us. I always start these things off a few minutes early, so podcast, we can have a bit of a roundup initially before people start jumping in on TikTok. But yes, TikTok, you will see me, MimikyuMark, and you will see the MimiQA, MimiQA. You will see my episode recordings. I always put them in crazy early mornings as I am here again outside the beautiful Tynemouth Market. One day you might actually get to see the market. I might start doing video ones. That'll be interesting, right? But it is so dark. Usually I give a wave to some of the dog walkers going by, and I'm pretty sure they are just walking their dogs. Uh, they're not just dragging something along with them. But today, all they just see is a guy with a Mimiku hat talking into a mic with a light in his car. Wow, wow! And I am absolutely not driving, but you will still see people light up my face as they drive by. There we go. There's one. There's one. Got it. Yeah. So another week, another Tynemouth Market. What have we got this week? More Pokemon. Check my videos. Biggest news of this week. Managed to get the gold Gardevoir. So happy with that. So happy. You know what? We went through so many booster boxes and didn't get a Gardevoir. Didn't get it. Yeah, but we managed to get one of the two gold cards, and it wasn't until the last pack. So I got a box from somebody who's if they're listening to this, it's so funny. I mean, they were going to open the box anyway. It arrived from the Pokemon Center. It was an enhanced box. They wanted it sealed. They collect the sealed stuff, and it had like a slight, not a tear, but when it doesn't quite seal properly. So obviously the value then gets affected, right? So they didn't have that at the bottom of the box. I was like, you know what? I'll buy that. I'd love to have the promo. So I got that lovely Bulbasaur promo with the Mega Evolution stamp on it. A beautiful card. It's probably £40 to £50 on its own already. And ripped through all of the packs. I was like, this is a pretty bad box right here. and it ended up having the gold card in it, but it wasn't until the last pack. I mean, it was quite literally the last pack that I opened, and it was the gold Gardevoir. Now, as I was opening it, there was a couple of people sat in this shop next to me, and one of them who had got a gold only like the week before, he he got the gold card, and obviously he had a big shout. And the camera in the shop was pointing at me just in case I got something good as well. So I need that footage. I need to get that footage, and I need to be able to share it here with you guys on TikTok and me opening the gold card. But it's just so I'm defeated at that point. It is the last pack. I'm like, oh, is this going to be another box? Is this going to be another dead box? Opened it up, boom, but I didn't see the boom. I didn't see the boom. It was the guy who was opposite the table because obviously it was upside down but in a slight angle. He's like, "Ooh!" That noise people make when they see a pretty thing or a potential pretty thing in the pack. Now, when you see that gold edge in a Mega Evolutions pack, it is quite literally only one of two things. Okay, you either got a good gold or a good gold, but it's one of the two. And I had a quick, obviously went through properly, did the reveal, and it was a gold card. So we've got here conspiracy and frequencies joined the chat, and they said they had proof. I mean, that's good. I mean, if you've got the camera footage, that's great. I'm pretty sure the shop does too. So we will be publishing that. Conspiracy theory proved. Oh, Alia, look what you made me do. Oh no, what did I make you do? Did I make you join this? did did I make you go pull another gold God? And I'm not saying it's a massive thing. I'm not saying it's a thing that I should be always proud of, but I will be. Oh, thank you for liking the stream, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. If you join me regular or if you are newcomer, welcome, welcome, welcome. This week, I do apologize. I am probably the most ill person on this planet. I am not, but that's how it feels, right? But I've still got to come here down Tynemouth Market. There'll be people disappointed if I didn't come down Tynemouth Market today when I said I would come down. So yeah, conspiracy theories. Is my message being filtered? Maybe conspiracies. I don't know. This is for kids. Conspiracy theorists. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, conspiracy theorists. Thank you. But yes, so getting that gold card was absolutely amazing. Uh, it was a good feeling when you pull a chase card in any Pokemon set, any Magic the Gathering, any whatever the TCG is. If you pull that chase card, it is probably one of the greatest things like ever. So it's absolutely amazing. Oh, but you know what? You know what's better than that? Coming to TikTok, recording these podcasts for my handful of listeners. So search for MimiQA, MimiQA. I'm so ill. I can't even spell the thing. Yes, but thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's one of the things that absolutely cheers me up. You know what? I will say this every single podcast. You guys out there are absolutely amazing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. We will have later on in the podcast probably a JJ joke. There's a guy called JJ, the jet plane, will usually join. He's pretty awesome. He'll come on and there'll be some horrible dad joke. If not, guys, tell us jokes. So guys joining in, watching now, just tell us a random joke. Maybe about the guy that was writing about conspiracies. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we could talk about the weird people that you see online who are asleep, and when you like and send gifts, weird things happen. Maybe it's about the crazy people who stack cups in TikTok world, and you send gifts, and a little gun will fire a dart. I don't know. But yes, TikTok is becoming a weird place for me. The more time I spend on TikTok, the weirder it absolutely becomes. So I've decided to join in. If you send me, I don't know, something that cost a coin, I will flick one of my ears. Morning, morning. That's the Farmer Cup. Yeah, welcome, welcome. I am that ill this morning. I will be making so many mistakes. I will probably call this podcast. The episode title will be the illest podcast ever. It's going to be a little bit exaggerated, as most people like me probably do. Yeah. So welcome. So Farmer Kobe says, I have some EB game promos from New Zealand. Where would be best place to offload? You know what? That's really, really, really good question. So now are you in New Zealand or are you in the UK? I mean, ultimately, there is a place called Card Market. So Card Market, or one word, and that's the best place to sell cards if you are from the UK or from Europe. It is really great, and you can do um you can't do it as a private seller. It is a bit of a pain to become a seller, but once you're in, you're in. And if you've got a lot of that sort of stuff. Thank you, Mira, my favorite Pokemon podcaster. Oh, Mira, my one of I, I've can I say my favorite listener? Probably. Uh, so yeah, so all right, wow, you sent your card to help you out. So, come down to the likes of a Time Mouth Market. Come down to this type of place. Go to your local TCG stores. But Card Market is probably best for value. eBay, last sold UK will probably give you a good finger in the air. You got to be careful with eBay. You have you have it's not eBay's fault, but you will have fake sales on there. You will have other things which are a bit sus. However, you will get the very lows and you will get the very highs. So it is a bit of a finger there. That's why Card Market is so great. It gives you kind of averages. It lets you know kind of what the cheapest available is. It is really good. So search for it. I use it all the time. So um, if you use an app called Dex, so if you have an iPhone, DEX, there are others available on other platforms, but they are like, you know, they will give you a figure in the air sort of value. A lot of them will link to things like Card Market and eBay and TCG. The problem with TCG Player in the UK is that most of their prices are US based, and US based prices can be really wild. And TCG doesn't always keep up well. So you'll have a wild price, and then it could have gone wilder, but TCG won't know what that current value is. So it's not until you start clicking on stuff you go, actually, that is wild for this reason. Same with Card Market, you get the odd wild price, but it can be because you've got a graded card, so you'll always look for like a little comments, little button. So yeah, so you got a couple of Charmanders. Wow. Okay. So you got a good little collection there, Pharmacopoeia. Yeah. So have a good look. Nice to actually on the MimiQA recording. It's nice to actually part with some Q&A advice. So yeah, great. So I always advise Dex, Card Market, eBay last sold, but you got to do all the filters. Same on Card Market, you got to do the filters. There's a little filter icon. You got to do safe UK, so you do a UK card, English language. If it is near mint and above, that you can't do the condition filter as well. So absolutely do that condition filter. So there we go. So there's a bit of advice on this podcast. Great. So I hope other people are listening in. And if you don't know, and if you are around the Tynemouth area, and you find yourself at Tynemouth Market on a Sunday, find me. I'll be wearing this hat. I've got there's a big yellow Pikachu machine just outside my stall. Bring it down. I will give. I do this as a hobby, so I give people the free advice, obviously with a pinch of salt that it's just my personal opinion. Um, even even I give people advice on, is it worth grading a card? Now, I'm usually pretty good. I use Ace Grading. I send a load of stuff off to Ace Grading this week, so I'll be, they'll come back in 15 to 30 days, depending on the various ones that I did. But yeah, oh sorry, so Pharmacopoeia missed that. So the market I go to on a Sunday is Tynemouth Market. Now I am a little bit full of cold today. Oh, it's gonna be such an underwatched video and such an underlistened podcast. But Tynemouth Market, Tynemouth, so as in the River Tyne. It's in the mouth of the River Tyne next to North Shields. It's in the metro station, and it's got like a lovely glass roof, loads of stalls, and there's usually like three or four other Pokemon stalls, really good ones as well. So don't just come there just for me. There's loads of great food, antiques, other Pokemon and collectibles, and other TCGs. But yeah, come say hello, especially if you watch this. Just say, hey, I watched your TikToky thing. I'm sure I can give you a few shiny cards. I'm a hobbyist. I'm not like these professional YouTubers where they give away big graded Charizards and stuff. But I do the odd thing to put a smile on someone's face. So yeah, it's great. Oh, you're in Essex? Yeah, that's a few miles away. Yeah, Katie, just popping in to ask where you got that lovely hat. Oh, Katie. So I actually sell these hats on the stall. So this is a genuine Pokemon product. It's by a company called Diffused. So inside there is so I only take the hat off, by the way, if you gift more than 100 coins. I've got to join in with the teacher, and anything 1 coin or above, and I kind of flick my ears. No, but seriously, it is a genuine Pokemon product. and it's by a company called Diffused, and I think they were Dutch, so they're from the Netherlands, and but I sell them down here, and I think I've got three left. They are it's a lovely fluffy hat. It's really quite cool, and it's yeah, £32 I think I sold them for, so about £30ish. So I would do them for probably £28 for for you guys who come down, who watch me on here. But yeah, it is an absolutely wonderful hat. Now I got given this from there was a local shop who supports me in what I do as a hobbyist coming down to the market, and we were looking for ways just to stand out, I think. And they're like, "Oh, well, what's your favorite Pokemon?" I was like, "Oh, it's Mimikyu." I love the Mimikyu, and I kind of had to decide. I loved a few of the Pokemon as well. I'm a Gen 1 person, but ultimately, I was like, well, I don't want to just say Charizard, because then collecting Charizard, you go down a hole of mortgages and all sorts to collect all of the Charizards. But I thought Mimikyu, it's fairly new at the time. It's number 778 there, so it's one of the newer Pokemon out of the 1025 there is now. And little did I know, there are actually a lot of very expensive Mimikyu cards out there, but at least it's not as bad as Charizard's, I think. So welcome, 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 welcome. Gotta rip the wall. Hey, how are you? Gotta rip the wall. And I'm just gonna go back. Oh, Katie Singh, thank you for that advice on the hat there. Well, you're absolutely welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so just throw your Pokemon questions in the chat. I am recording this for a podcast. I do a weekly podcast as I'm waiting to go into the market. We usually spend about an hour or so chatting away before I've got to administer myself before I've actually got to go into the station itself. We're in a car here. Everyone's queuing up. I've got my little ring light beside me because it's starting to get dark on these mornings. But we're at episode 6. 6. That's like a month and a half. What have we been doing? That is amazing. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I used to do these TikToks anyway, and then you guys said, well, why do you do a podcast? I'm like, well, you know what? I will absolutely take that challenge. So I am here on my podcast journey with you guys from TikTok as well, and you guys just chat away, and you know what? It's absolutely great. It builds me up in the morning, especially this morning. It's a bit misty here. It's a very, very misty morning. Maybe because we're right on the coast here, so we're getting maybe some of the sea fret. But yeah, it's very, very misty, very foggy, and dark. And I seem to remember when we did Tyrant, obviously we did Tyrant Market for a few years now, but I seem to remember even setting up in the dark. Uh, come the winter months. I think the clocks are changing soon as well, aren't they? Oh, that'll be a fun Sunday. Everyone coming at different times. But yes, oh my goodness. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining in. We will talk about other card pulls that I've had over this coming well over the last week. We'll talk about Phantasmal Flames coming up. If you got any questions, just drop them in the chat. I don't have any ads or anything like that. So if you are listening on the podcast, hopefully there shouldn't be any ads. I don't think they drop any ads in. Contact me on TikTok if there's ads being thrown into this sort of stuff. Maybe I've made it. Maybe I've become popular and I can start putting ads in, and then I can quit my day job. Yay! Everyone wants to quit a day job, right? So yeah, so maybe I'll become that popular. But let's also talk about the strangeness that we see on TikTok. So I think we've talked on the podcast before about people who are asleep on TikTok, and then you have to send gifts and horns wake them up and stuff. I don't get that one. People punching punch bags and kicking punch bags, that's just weird, right? Please, it's not just me, surely. That is very weird. But like one like equals one punch, people are like it, like it, and there's a guy just like punching a punch bag, and there are people just outward begging on TikTok, so they're just like saying people's names and chanting and stuff, and that's just bizarre. There's the fish. What? Why? There's like a fish bowl and like food and like little knives that are trying to cut the fish, not the fish, that because that would just be weird. But the but the food that it's trying to cut the bag. The fish never seem to get the food. Do the fish ever get the food? And what if it happens too often? Are you going to end up with poorly fish? Like really, really TikTok, or not TikTok, but the people who do that. It's just weird, right? And then you've also got the the cups in big towers and little darts firing at the cups when people send gifts. What is with that? So I'm going to join in. So I did this last week, and people started gifting. I was like, "Yay!" And now, also, if you could tell me in the comments how to put words on TikTok that say, "Oh, for like 10 gifts, I will do this, and for like 50 gifts, I will do this." But I will just tell you guys now, if anything 1 coin or above, I will be flicking ears. Anything for 100 coins, I will take my hat off. Uh, I forgot the other one now. Yeah, well, I think last week I was alternating between ears. Honestly, I just don't get it. But it's great. Like, follow, subscribe, join the fan club. It's absolutely great. We will be here as a reflection on TikTok. So let's go into one of our topics. Uh, Yes, hello, hello, hello for those joining. Great, cool. We've got a bars 2 or 3 joining there. We've got loads of people. So, yeah, shout out. But I also want to shout out, and I do this every week, to the sorting hat guy from Harry Potter. And you know what? For the last 3 weeks, I think I've actually forgotten the name. But if you flick through, there's a guy who's got like a puppet, and it's the sorting hat from Harry Potter, and he's just absolutely amazing to the point where I want to take a puppetry. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit silly, I can be a bit silly, and I like to think I'm probably quite good at Punch and Judy and stuff. Ventriloquism, I would love to learn that. Not this week whilst I've got a cold. I would love to do ventriloquism, but if you're off camera and you've got a puppet, you can just be as mad as you want, right? So actually, I might give that a go. So give me likes in the chat if you would like to see me with, I don't know, a MimiQ puppet or something. Oh, I don't know. But like in Pokemon where Meowth talks, surely there should be a MimiQ that talks, right? That would be quite good. I don't know what he would sound like, so I'm not going to practice that today. I'm absolutely not going to practice that today. But yes, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Let's absolutely see. But I would love to do something crazy like that. I would also love to do a chat with on TikTok. Again, you've got to be sensible about this stuff. I would love to bring my daughter along for like a back to back conversation. And actually, next story I would like to talk about today is how talented she is. I mean, everyone's gonna, your daughter or son or whoever is your favorite person in the world, but isn't it weird when they're better at you than something? Now, I'm going to explain here. My daughter is under 10, you know, and to be better than a parent at something when you're under the age of 10 is quite it's quite humbling. And my drawing ability has never been great. I'm not gonna lie. I am not an artist. That's why I've got a friend, Beardy Dave, who I will actively pay to do drawings for me. So when you see me put up some art, certainly recent stuff, you'll see Beardy Dave signed on it. That's my friend. So I will send him a bit of AI rubbish, right? And I will say, Beardy Dave. Obviously, I use his proper name. Can you can you please do me a proper drawing, right? As an artist, here's some, tell me how much it would cost for this drawing. And he'd be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. He'll come back a few days later. He'll draw me something, and it'll cost me 30 quid or whatever, and I will pay a beard because they are amazing. And you should always support local artists. So I will just throw that out there: support local, support artists, support a local game source. But I'm going to get back to the story. My daughter is a better artist than me. Now, again, she's 8, right? Only just turned. She is 8, and she can look at something. She's got such a gift. She can look at something and then draw it. And there are some great TikTok videos that I was sort of sharing with her where there is somebody who draws cats, and then you say in the that they are taking comments in the chat, and they are drawing somebody to look like a cat. And I think every subscriber, they are doing a piece of art in this one big sort of cat thing. And it's so great, very very sort of cartoony, very very quick to draw, but they've got a skill. Now my daughter, I said, "Oh, do you want to do this?" And she copied it, and she was just using a l- pen, A4 paper, leaning on something random. She could draw, mimic exactly what was on the screen, and that was just it mind blew me. So I was chatting to some friends who also do TCGs, and a lot of them like bespoke tokens. So if you ever play, maybe not necessarily Pokemon, but other games, you may have like a Goblin token, a Dragon token, a money treasure token, gold token, whatever the tokens are. People love to have bespoke arts, because these things are really, 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 really sort of nice to have, especially when you're kind of themed as well. And a friend of ours wants to have some Goblin tokens, and it's like, okay, I get, my 8 year old could probably do some cool ones. I give an example, and she started drawing a little goblin token that somebody else had done on Etsy or something, and just looking at it, she was able to do like her variation of it. So it was kind of using it as a kind of a template. She's not stealing, but she's sort of looking at going, okay, I kind of like that, and she was adding like her own bits. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So I mean, prepare to see in the future me advertising my daughter's tokens, because I really want to try and embrace the arty side of it. So uh, and I would love for my daughter to be, I don't know, an artist, a Pokemon artist in the future, and whatever she wants to be artist in the future, or at least have art be a big part of her life, to be creative, because I think we have to embrace these things. There's a lot of stuff that AI and computers can do. One thing it can't do is do art. It can't do unique. It borrows. That's quite a nice way of saying it steals from people. but AI is good at kind of taking what's out there already and pushing it together and making something that looks semi passable. But you can always tell, right? But as a human being, I think it's really important, and it would be great. And it would be great if we could use it to do things that she wants to do as well. So my daughter really wants to go to Japan. She's only 8, and she wants to go there. She wants to experience the culture. She loves the food. She loves obviously she loves the Pokemon, but she also loves the anime and things like that. I think my older children have got her into the anime side. And as much as I know K-pop Demon Hunter is Korean, it still taps into that whole anime thing for Japan and so on. So yeah, imagine being able to do a project where we could do tokens, do some art, and then maybe a Kickstarter or a Just Giving for, I'm trying to sell these things and produce these things so I can go on a holiday and take my parents along to Japan or something. And I thought that was just a really nice thing. It'd be really special. And as an 8 year old, I mean, it may not happen when she's 8, but as an 8 year old, having that ambition to do that sort of stuff. So I'd love to be able to support what she does. Anyway, so that's me probably waffled on too long about that, but it's just really kind of weird. Other news: if you are just joining me, if you're listening on the podcast, do apologize, but I have to say this again. I pulled the gold Gardevoir in Mega Evolutions. I've done so many. I was streaming here on TikTok, the wider opening, and we opened up 18 booster boxes live on TikTok, which is absolutely beautiful thing to do. But we never got a gold card. So at 18 booster boxes, we never got a gold card. Now we managed to get 6 SIRs, which is beautiful. 6 SIRs is absolutely great. However, to not get a gold card was kind of like, oh, this means I've got to keep opening up random packs now. Now, a friend of ours got a booster box. I just said earlier in the podcast, he did he wanted it sealed, so I bought it, opened it. The very last pack gold card. So that's absolutely beautiful. But let's continue talking about the rest of the set's art. Now, there are some beautiful cards in the set. There really are. It is a glorious. I think with every Pokemon set that comes out, there are some very, very talented artists. There is some stuff that you could probably say, are they doing it? I don't know, because there's other things going on around the world. There is the gumshoe. So for those who do or do not like a gumshoe, there is the gumshoe. The Gumshoe is a very, very, very beautiful card, but people are saying it looks like a famous person out there in the world. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I will have to cut that one out. But yes, uh, oh, I am so ill today. I am so ill. But thank you for joining me. For those who are in the TikTok world, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here with me on this journey of me probably not getting enough oxygen into my body because I'm ill and I'm talking on TikTok recording a podcast at the same time. So thank you so much for being here. Oh my goodness. What else is happening in the world of Pokemon, in the world of TCG? Phantasmal Flames is just around the corner. I will be looking back on these podcasts and I will be looking back on these recordings and I will be thinking, oh my goodness, Phantasmal Flames. It was such a build up. We're only a couple of weeks away from the pre-release. How absolutely crazy is that? Only a couple of weeks away. I have my ticket. I hope you guys do too. For those guys who are in the northeast of England, pre-book your Phantasmal Flames pre-release tickets at Northumbrian Tin Soldier. All you have to do is just have a quick knowledge of how to play the game, and come down and join us. We will play a Northumbrian Tin Soldier, and we will be absolutely trying to do what we can to kind of get along with the game. Uh, I love pre-release. Everyone's on the same level footing. You have a pre-made deck which you open up. You get like 4 packs inside the build and battle sort of deck, and inside there you absolutely just can add to your deck itself. It is a wonderful thing. Like I say, everybody's on the same level, so it's absolutely great. But it's fun. But there's a chance to pull the SIRs, and in this set, there's going to be the beautiful Charizard and Phantasmal Flames. It's going to be great. There's also coming out roughly the same time. There's the Moltres UPC. You got the Charizard UPC. You've got there's just so much coming out. There's like a special Venusaur set coming out with like tons of packs in, like a Blooming Waters type thing. Lots happening in the Pokemon world right now. It is really, really great. But also, what else has happened? I don't know if you guys can see me on TikTok, but it's not so great for those listening on the podcast. But I got the MimiQ badge. So I didn't realize, and I shouldn't really know this stuff, right? I didn't realize that the Pokemon Company are doing a badge a month. So there's 12 badges this year, and the badge number 9, I think it was, is the MimiQ badge, and it was like 10, 15 quid. I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm doing this because I'm a MimiQ collector. But the badge is so beautiful. Look at it. It's so beautiful. So if you can't see it properly or you're on the podcast, check out the Pokemon Center's website. But the badge for MimiQ for the 12-month sort of badges this month is so beautiful. So I've got it in my MimiQ hoodie. I've had to put it over the sort of the stitching for the MimiQ because I don't want to put too many holes in the in the hoodie itself. But yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful thing. So check it out. It is quite a big badge as well. You know, I'm a relatively big guy, and this is a huge badge. It's like proper solid. It's detailed. So much work has gone into that. You know, so it's a proper solid metal thing. So it's or pewter, whatever it is. But it is a solid, pretty thing, and I'm so proud of that. It's really, really great. Um, but I'm a MimiQ collector. I've got all sorts of badges and the hats, and yeah. So I've got to add to the MimiQ collection, right? So that's my excuse anyway. Next year, I think we've seen some leaks of more mega sets. Obviously, before probably the end of the 30th celebrations, we're going to get to the next game that replaces Scarlet and Violet. So the next red blue esque uh, series. So Scarlet Violet was the last one. Just before Scarlet Violet, we had Legends Arceus. So we did have that. Obviously, we've got Legends Z2A. That's coming out. Imminently. I think they've already took my pre-release payment, and yeah, so around about this time next year, we'll probably have the next game. I mean, how crazy is that? Or at least it'll be announced. You would have thought by that point. I think Christmas. Let's get Christmas out of the way. Let's get the craziness of Christmas and into a new year. We'll have the craziness of the February's 30th anniversary. So come Feb, Pokemon turns 30, so there's going to be all sorts of celebrations there. Yeah, it's good. It's going to be a great time. But I think then I'll have to take that out of the. You know what? Let's just leave the coughing and spluttering and the sniffing in the podcast. Oh, horrible, horrible MimikyuMark. But yes, yeah. So we're gonna have all of that fun stuff. So it's a lot of stuff to come, and there'll be lots of big announcements for next year. You know, if you're into other TCGs, you've got the Star Trek Magic coming out, and your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think is coming out at the same time as the next uh 30th anniversary for Pokemon. So loads of stuff going on in the world of TCGs. It's all being hyped. I guess at some point you think, is this the bubble that's going to burst? I mean, we've probably been saying that since I don't know the last 10 years. I, as much as prices go up and down, I don't think Pokemon will ever burst. I think so long as the nostalgia's there, you know, people may come in and out of the hobby, but there are so many people who love this stuff. And then you got the big Wall Street type newspapers saying that invest in Pokemon, it's better than gold. You know, so I don't know. I don't know. Do we trust those people? I'll let you decide. Yes, 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 yes. So, thank you for those who are in the chat. Again, if you got any sort of questions, you got any opinions on Pokemon, just stick them in the chat, and then we'll get them recorded for this podcast. I will try not to be too ill. It's going to be a really difficult day today. It when we set up, I always try and take my time these days anyway. But when you're ill, everything is just so much more slower, right? Everything's in slow motion, and I've got to try and keep a smile on my face all day. I'm also going to try and keep away from the elderly today. we we sometimes have a few of the older generations come to the store because they like to get cards for their grandkids and stuff, which is absolutely beautiful. And there was an older guy called John who comes down. He'll come. I mentioned before on the podcast, but he comes down and he's got a little clipboard, and he sort of ticks the boxes, and I think he does it for the grandkids. And for every card that comes out of the normal releases, nothing crazy, but of the normal set range, he will have a little clipboard piece of paper for it, and you'll tick it off. You know, shinies, non-shinies, and so on. And he collects these things for his kids. Now, his kids his grandkids may not appreciate it now. You know, I don't know their ages. I think they are young. You know, but in years to come, they could be like, oh, granddad. You know, he spent all of that time finding this stuff, going to different stalls, trying to find all of these cards, and it's such a beautiful thing. And the last time I seen him, I think it was the pre-release for Megas, and I had like a box, obviously of all of the spare cards I had from pre-release, and a few extra sort of packs at the time, and I just gave him that little box. It said, look, you know, you're obviously going to need all these. It's quite busy now. Take them away, come back, give me a quid or whatever, you know, whatever the cost of those of those commons and uncommons are. And yeah, so yeah, but since then, you know, we've also been doing quite well on card markets. So not only am I a time math market, but you can find me on card market. I go by MimiQMark on card market as well, and yeah, that's doing all right. I mean, I've had loads of people buy my Pokemon cards. I've only got like a dozen left on there or something now. I need to put more cards on there. Oh, but I also need to hunt down either on there or from my local TCG store, Northumbrian Tin Soldier. I need to find. There's a few cards. You know, there's a few Mimikyu cards I'm still looking for. I've got a Giratina V Altart, which I'm always looking for. I don't think anyone is going to take a few hundred quid. I think that's got quite silly prices now. So I'm probably going to have to trade another silly card for that big silly card. But I've got a Bubble Mew card, which I'm not massively attached to. I love the Bubble Mew. It's a very pretty card, but I prefer the Charizard in that set. And I think one of my videos, you know, people commenting on it say it's beautiful. I love it. It's more expensive than the Charizard. I would love to trade for a Charizard and then some other cards as well. I would love to have a big trade of the Giratina Vialtart and the Charizard for my Bubble Mew and one or two other kind of big cards that I've got, because I just that Charizard and that Giratina I just love so much, and unfortunately I don't get the likes, the followers enough, so I could just use YouTube money and TikTok money to go buy this stuff. And certainly my day job won't allow me to have enough money to pay for that. So yeah, and I'm just gonna trade. Okay, so just for the hobby, for the collectors, for the hobby. Oh, so how are you all today? So we haven't got a lot long of the cast left, but how are you all today? Are you doing good out there? We've got Matthew Latta, as just said. I did pretty well on launch. I got an ETB, two triple boosters, and 10 booster packs. That is pretty good, Matthew Latta. If you can get anything these days of any product, it's really, really good. You kind of have to have connections, right? You've got to play your local game stores. You've got to kind of know people who play. I managed to help out a friend of mine from my day job, whose son, I think it might be his birthday. Is it even today? It may be even in a couple of days' time. I think his birthday. But he was after an ETB for his son, and luckily, obviously, I go to a local game store quite a lot, and I said, well, if you speak to these guys, they may have one. So and I spoke to them ahead of time. They're like, you know what, a friend of yours is a friend of ours, and they sorted this little lad out with an ETB for his birthday. So his birthday's in a couple of days' time, and they'll be opening up the I think it was the Gardevoir ETB. So they will be having a great time on their birthday opening up that. So that was great. Uh, but yeah, but you managed to get the triple boosters. Now those triple booster things, those blister packs, they've been really really good. I've seen people get gold cards from those things. So that's really 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 good. So you scoped out the day before, yeah, yeah. You know what? Because sometimes uh, the fans, the people who go to the game stores a lot, they will absolutely scalp the high heaven out of the products now. I mean, I get a lot of products, but I open them, right. So we opened up 18, well, 19 now booster boxes. Thankfully, I can stop because I got the gold card eventually, but. I will open them up. I'm not trying to keep them for 20 years time to make a few quid. It's not about that. It's about opening them up and bring them to people. I don't know if we could do as many as we can for Phantasmal, but ultimately we're going to be opening this stuff, right? So it is absolutely great that we can do what we do to bring you guys the card singles, because even if you can get a hand on a one or two booster boxes, which is quite a lot of packs, 36 packs per box, when you open them, the hit rates aren't that great. Now, if you're doing it just for an SIR, chances are you're not going to get that SIR. So out of the 19 booster boxes that I opened, one gold card, six SIRs. Luckily, the SIRs were different, but when we've done it before, you sometimes get the same SIR multiple times. Now, when we did Surging Sparks, we got the Latias like 3 or 4 times, and that was a very similar amount opened. Well, a bit more, but ultimately, you're not guaranteed to get the card you want. Now, you just spent hundreds of pounds on getting cards that you don't want. You know, you may as well just buy the singles at that point. But it's nice to open. So if you get a hold of a box or two and you're trying to do the set, it's really, really great. you might get cards that you want to trade for as well. That's really, really good. So do it, but don't try and buy too many random packs here and there, and sort of stress yourself out over it. Get to know local game stores. Come down to local markets. Find some sort of pleasure in actually hunting down the cards as well. Is probably the best advice. But yeah, it's really really cool. But any other kind of questions, things in the chat, just absolutely shout. It's been a it's been a weird one this morning. I mean, the sun is only just coming up. Obviously, it is getting darker every day as we head towards the shortest day of the year in December. But so the closer we get to December, the darker it's going to be in these cold market mornings. I can't even see the dog walkers I normally give a quick wave to. Uh, in the morning, I can't even see them. But yeah, it's I'm just sat here in the car pricing, and oh my goodness, the prices have been volatile as always. I was going through my prices this morning, and I was going through, and yeah, prices are just kind of wild. So that's a kind of a constant. So I'm glad I do that before the market days. Matthew just said there, I have an Evolving Skies booster case in my vault. You paid £800 for it. Wow. Wow. So you didn't get it at the time because obviously then it would have been 100, quid, whatever the price was back then. You've paid much later. And I think the price now is probably beyond that £800 from memory. I think you're probably into the thousands of pounds now, aren't you, for an Evolving Skies? Uh, oh, sorry, you said that booster case. So is it the one with is it the crate with the six boxes in? So when you say case, is it the six box crate, Matthew, that you're talking about? Probably. I hope it is. I hope it is. I'm feeling very ill this morning, and I sort of when I said, yeah, that's the one. Oh wow, okay, wow, okay. So you are absolutely quids in. If I were you, I'd probably for next year when it's the 30th anniversary, I'd be selling those things. It's you know what, retirement funds, whatever you want to call it, are a great idea, but will the market always be there for an Evolving Skies box? Probably. It's very hard to it's hard to guess these things, but yeah, you know what? Well done. Good on you for kind of having the foresight to sort of do that. I think I'd love to be able to do that, but I want to be able to open some stuff as well because part of the hobby that I get involved with is bringing the cheaper cards to the market and then bringing the cards that people can finish their sets with. That's what I want to try and do, and sort of trade for bigger cards. And occasionally keep the bigger cards. Now I don't know what to do with the bigger cards I've got. The prices are up and down so much with some of the bigger cards. You have to just keep a hold of them for a while. So any SIR that we pull from now until after Phantasmal, we're going to have to keep it into the January, February time just to kind of see what's going on. So Matthew, there I sold the damage of Alvin Sky's booster box at my local show for £1,800. Wow, because people will want the Umbreon. That's ultimately what's driving that price. There's loads of it. Evolving Skies has got some great cards in it, but it's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of emotion. It's one of those sets. It's going to be very similar to Prismatic, right? People will be forever hunting the God packs. How many God packs were out there? Nobody knows. So and that Umbreon itself is worth like £800 now, let alone what happens in the future. These things do plateau for a while, but you tend to have for the massive chasers at the time, they will always go up in value. There'll always be either a steady increase or a longer term increase. So great. And yeah, wow, good on you. Maybe you could kind of just leak these things into the market every now and again. And give yourself a nice booster to pay for whatever you want to do. Pay for a home improvement, pay for a car. Who knows? Pay for a nice holiday. So you got six of those, so you can have a nice holiday every year. Oh, I've got to apologize again for having a cold. It's not my fault, right? These things just happen, but it doesn't sound good on a podcast. So yeah, wow, this is gonna be the worst. I'm gonna look at my ratings on this podcast. It's gonna be, oh my goodness, you've got like two listeners, if that, or I'll have had loads of listeners, and then episodes 7, 8, and 9, I get absolutely nothing. So wow, I can't believe we're on episode 6. It's just it's so bonkers that a we took a quick comment, from you guys here on TikTok, and then from that turned it into a weekly podcast. So I will come down to the market, sit here, chat away, and I know people listen. I can see the stats, and I'm thankful so much. So if you are listening to this and you are coping through through my illness, I want to say thank you so much. Send a comment on TikTok. Send a comment to, it could be my Instagram, Facebook, wherever you do it. And just tell me that you listen, and then I'll be so grateful and send you lots of loves, likes, and follows back. So thank you so much for being here. But is it going to be cold today? I think today is going to be quite warm. It's nice when you come to the market and it is nice and warm at time of market. I do like it down here when it's if it's bitterly cold, it can it can make these more mornings. Very, very, very difficult. So I hope it's not going to be too cold. Oh, never know. You never know. However, one thing I can't get used to, and I don't know why, because it never used to be a problem, is all the cars in their bright lights. You know what? I'm gonna have a slightly older moment now, and maybe I'm generalizing. But our car headlights getting brighter. Maybe it's just because I've just started doing this podcast in the morning, and I'm starting to notice all these cars go by. But certainly cyclist lights and modern car lights, are they getting brighter, or is it just me? Maybe I'm ill. I'm too sensitive. I think that's what it is. We'll put it down to just me being silly. Okay. Wow. Wow, Mark. Wow. But yeah, so how are you all feeling this morning for those who are just joining us on TikTok? I've not had anybody send any flowers or badges or hearts yet. So you're not going to see me flick. Oh, hold on, I'm doing this for free there. I'll do freebies. We were talking about the craziness of TikTok earlier, and we're talking about this the stuff that we did see. Now, one of the weirdest things that I did see recently, and it briefly touched on an earlier podcast, is chickens. Now, I hope this doesn't happen often, and I and I hope it's just me scrolling through and somebody just happened to be feeding chickens or something weird. But it looked like it was one of those things where you send a gift, a heart, and then something would happen with the chickens. I didn't quite catch what it was, but something would happen with these chickens. I think it was chicken feed. I think it was feeding them, but then they quickly went off air. I was like, that can't be a thing. I mean, goldfish is one thing. Poor fish, are they going to get overfed? Does that little bit of the bag ever, ever, ever fail? I don't know. That's going to haunt me forever. But chickens, for me, is a step too far. So don't do it. So if you're going on TikTok just to say, do you want to feed my fish? That's just weird, right? That is just weird. Well, I didn't get any likes before when I said, "Did you guys want me to do a puppet?" I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be on the camera. It would just be the puppet. But I could do silly voices. I could do a puppet. Any likes? Any tap the screen if you want me to do a puppet. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna find my niche. Maybe I've got to find my niche. I don't know. Do I have a niche? Sitting here in a car, wearing a MimiQ hat, reflecting on what I have become this time of the morning. But morning, we've got other viewers. We've got Mayita Rena. We've got Werewolf Ed. Welcome, welcome. We've got Mum to Rupert. Oh, that's a lovely name. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. We got Thomas with lots of S's. Have you got lots of accounts, or was it just to get Thomas as the name? But welcome, welcome, welcome. You may be Thomas 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S's. You may have lots of bots. I don't know. But yes, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, I am absolutely trying to reflect on the day and trying to focus now on the day, on the market. I have with me this week, what have we got? We got Mega Evolution packs this week, which is great. We have, what else do we have? We have mystery slabs this week. So come down, grab a slab. We have mystery packs this week, both expensive and not quite expensive. Now, expensive £19. It's not that expensive, but they are more expensive than the £8 ones I've got. And you get bigger hits, so yeah, it's all relative. We've also got lots of card singles. We've got megas, lots of mega singles to sell this week. We also have lots of other TCGs, but we also have big boxes full of the card singles this week. So we've got loads of stuff. Welcome, Maddie. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the podcast recording. We got lots this week. It's going to be so good. Now, I don't know this week. It was blustery last week. It was a bit windy. So if you were out last Sunday, it was a little bit windy to be doing market stuff. Welcome, Kez. I hope you're not the same Kez who pulled a gold card the other day and then got another gold card shortly after Kez. Is it you? Isn't it you? I don't know. But yes, because it was so breezy last week, I have like a big mesh, like wire mesh that kind of goes around the market stall. And usually I would sort of hang up Pokemon cards, and but because it's blustery, they would have blown off. Now, it was really nice not to hang the cards last week and just have folders. There was more folders. Yeah, that's what did I win? Yeah, that's what did I win. Oh no, no, Kez. You may or may not be the same Kez that I know, but there is a Kez that we know who got a couple of cards. Oh, if it is you, I'm so jealous. If it's not you, I don't know. Oh, but welcome, 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 and welcome, Lucy James, my pal. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give me the goal, bro. Oh, Kez, I wish I could just imbue some sort of gold card onto people. I mean, that would be great, right? Although when I did get my gold the other day, so finally I did get the Gardevoir gold after lots of attempts at getting it. The people who were sat with me were like, "You're gonna get gold this time." So they did will it into existence. So I don't know. So maybe that's kind of some sort of spiritual thing going on. I don't know, but it was absolutely great. It was absolutely great, and I think it's on the shop's camera as well. So I'll try and get that footage shared and stick it on some sort of TikTok because it's me basically. Oh, hold on. TikTok's like, "Are you a human being?" Happens at the same time every podcast. Yes, there we go. I think that's my reminder if I haven't got long left on the podcast. Thank you, TikTok, for that. So yes, I'm on the shop camera, and it's me just kind of sticking my hand out with the air, going, "I can see the gold edge." I didn't even see what the card was, but I just stuck my hand up in the air, and yeah, but I managed to get the gold card, which I'm good. So Muzan, one of the originals, welcome, welcome, welcome. I think I must mention you on most of the podcast. I am a little bit ill today though, Muzan, so I don't think I'll be able to hang around too much longer before I absolutely have to have the biggest sniff in the world and the biggest coughing fit in the world after this podcast recording. But thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Muzan. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's but I can't not come down. As much as this is a hobby, if you do miss too many weeks because of even just illnesses and things like that, it's a very busy marketplace. So people effectively get your spot. So you've got to keep coming down. There's a lot of pressure with this type of stuff, but also the people who come. If I'm not there a week and there's a family come down from Scotland, because that happens. I've met people who've come down from Scotland just to come to my market stall. Obviously, they have a wider fun day. They have loads of food and they enjoy all the other market stalls. But they have said to me, "We've come for your market stall." So if that was to happen again, and I'm not here because I'm ill, then I would feel so guilty, right? And I can't not do it myself because the cards can be quite expensive. So yeah, but thank you very much for wishing me well, Musa. Thank you so much, and welcome, Rob, and welcome everybody else who's listening. Episode 6, episode 6. Wow, I just can't get over it. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been absolutely great. We've met some wonderful people this morning. We've had some lovely chats. You've heard about me pulling a gold card today, and you could see all the videos. I don't know. Muzen, would you like to see me here with a puppet one day? Obviously not my face, but maybe I could do not MimiQA. I don't know. Maybe we call it the MimiQ or the mini MimiQA or something. Call it something like that, and it's just me doing a daft voice with a MimiQ puppet or something. Great. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Oh no, I had a cough then. That's something to edit out later. You know what? I I think this podcast is going to be so horrible to listen with my horrible stuffed voice this morning. But thank you so much for being here. You don't mind seeing MimiQ, any MimiQ content. Oh wow, okay. So maybe that's a thing I could do then. Maybe it's a thing. Uh, it would be good to do. You know what? I, I'm going to be a bit big headed here. This might sound a bit big headed, but with my kids. I'm pretty good with puppets. I'm pretty good with Punch and Judy style puppets. One of my hands is a bit busted these days, but I'm pretty good with that stuff, and I can do crazy voices and all of that sort of thing. Not when I'm ill though. So I don't know. Maybe I can do a puppet. It would be good to do a MimiQ puppet, but you can't you can't like talk with it if that makes sense. It's kind of there, and it's kind of just somebody holding up a toy talking in the background. Where if it was an actual a Muppet puppet, something like that, I think maybe that might work. Or I don't know. Maybe I could make my own. Maybe I could. I don't know. Maybe I can make my own MimiQ puppet. I think that's what a lot of ventriloquists, how they get into it in the first place, is they personify whatever whatever the puppet is. So I think Nina Conti, when she did Monkey, I don't know if you ever search Nina Conti, she's absolutely amazing, very very talented, and she did I think it's called his her master's voice or something it's called, where she learns to do ventriloquism and dive deeper into it in the history of ventriloquism in the US. But she's got Monkey, and Monkey is like her inner voice, the stuff that she wants to say. It is so funny. It is really really good. But you know, going through that adventure, I think a lot of people tailor make their puppets to that sort of stuff. So maybe that's good, right? Maybe that's good. And you might have missed earlier on in the recording, my daughter is a crazy artist. I didn't realize my 8-year old daughter can absolutely just see a cartoony thing and just draw it, and like just with a pen on a random piece of paper, and she will absolutely create some amazing art. So I'm going to try and do tokens. So maybe I should do live content with her doing drawings. Maybe that would be quite good. Either she'll start her own YouTube or something, and I can support her, or or whatever. But we'd love to go to. Well, I know she would love to go to Japan and things like that. So maybe we can start a fund for my daughter to go to Japan. Maybe that's a good thing, and we could do some art and all of that sort of stuff. That'll be absolutely great. So I think there's a few more ideas that we're going to throw out there. And so if you're listening to this podcast and then you see me start to do that sort of stuff, you are part of the foundation of the future of the MimikyuMark empire. I don't know, empire. I sound like a colonialist. No, but yes, maybe. Here's the start for something new. Here is the start for something new. So I think I've got lots of likes for puppets. I've got lots of likes for my daughter and her art. So that's really great. And I would love her to draw some Mimikyus. I keep trying to get her to go, there's a Mimikyu, draw it. But she tends to want to do goblins and cats and all of that sort of stuff, like cartoony ones. Really, really great. So one day I will get her to do some Mimikyus. Yeah, that'll be great. Or even just like a Mimikyu, but with different costumes. A Mimikyu doesn't always have to have a Pikachu, or they have a variation of a Pikachu. It's just the sack that they put on their head, right? So they don't have to do the same. Oh my god, coughing. The amount of coughs I'm going to have to edit out of this hour's podcast this morning, absolutely crazy. Now, I probably already got a few minutes left, and I probably just need to spend longer administering myself this morning than what I would usually do, sorting myself out. So I'm clear headed for the rest of the day. But thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, I just hope episode 7 is a lot less ill than episode 6. So I'm going to continue on the TikTok for a few more minutes. I'm going to end the podcast in a moment, but thank you so much for being with us this week. Any comments? Oh, we didn't do a JJ's joke. Oh my goodness, we didn't do a joke. Quick! Anybody live on TikTok got a joke? Quick, type a joke. BFG, quick, no pressure, BFG. But if you got a joke, it's got to be a dad joke, though. I think it's gonna be a very silly joke. Otherwise, I'm just going to revert to a one that the kids loved when they were younger. Like, what's cheese that's not yours? Nacho cheese. Oh, there we go. So Musa said, "Why did the man fall into the well?" I don't know, Muzan. Why did the man fall into the well? It's going to be tense now. He couldn't see that well. Oh, Muzan. Great. So this, JJ didn't turn up today, so this might become Muzan's joke section. Maybe this is your section of the podcast now. Oh, that is pretty good. Okay, well, I said at the start of the podcast we might have some jokes. At least we've had a joke. At least I've not lied. If I've ever done a podcast, a recording, and then I haven't done something I've said, You guys need to tell me. Keep me honest. I've got no editors. I've got no manager. It's just me. I need you guys to keep me on the straight and narrow. So thank you so much. Well, at least now we can end the podcast, and I've been honest. So if you're listening on the podcast, thank you so much. I will continue on TikTok, but thank you, podcast. Have a great day.